Good morning. Well, you know what? I don't know exactly what was left on in my car, but something was left on, and it was dead in the morning. I still couldn't figure it out. The lights were all off. Everything was off that I could tell. Anyway, but the battery was dead in the morning. And so yesterday, I hooked up, I have this little, it's a battery pack. And I've had it for a few years. It has a handle and it plugs into the electricity. You know, it's got an adapter, 13.6, I think, is the adapter size. What's the word? It's not size, is it? Well, anyway, power. Anyway, so I hooked it up to the car and the battery pack was dead. So I took an extension cord out to the car. I plugged in the battery pack into the extension cord, and then I clamped it to the car, and I let it charge the car all night. Like when I came to the car at the beginning, tried to start it, it was completely dead. Absolutely nothing happened. And then I after an hour or so, it would make a click, or maybe 15 minutes, and then it would make a but anyway, by morning, I felt kind of unsure about leaving it on there all night because I had the hood of the car up and it could rain. Anyway, I heard thunder this morning and it woke me up, so I came out and I started the car and it started right away. And it's been going ever since. That's why I'm in it. I'm driving on these deserted roads. After being at Mary Jane lives near Toronto, and I guess it's cottage country for the Torontonians, but the traffic there is continuous. We got a lot of traffic on our road, but when you're driving on the road, there's no traffic with you. Like when you sit there and listen, because the Doppler effect, you can hear the sound from far, far over the hills in one direction, and you can hear it until it's far, far over the hills in the other direction. So it sounds like by the time one is stopped making noise over there and you hear another one over here, it sounds like, oh my gosh, there's no end to the traffic. But the cars are like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes apart. Well, maybe not 5. I don't know how long apart. Anyway, but they're far apart. But there, oh my gosh, you gotta pay so much attention. The whole roads are filled with cars. Whether they're small roads like this one or they're 4-lane roads, I tell you. And although some of the places are pretty, it's so difficult. It's also difficult. I just felt such peace when I got home. Well, when we got, pretty far from home, when it started to be no traffic. I have it written down that I live in Algonquin Park. I don't live in Algonquin Park, but because, Algonquin Park, if you are there, it's just like Toronto traffic. It's just so many cars. And I suppose even if you're kayaking back into the woods from there, and the wilderness trails, there's probably still a lot of people. It's just, we went to a lake when we were there, and they had little cabins, little trailers. It was like a mobile home park, and they were all facing, I knew that, and they're all facing a canal, which is probably a boat launch or something. The boats can come right up and be in front of your trailer. And even so, those trailers were 6 feet apart. It was just, I could not live like that. I suppose if you have to live like that, you live, you don't die just because you're in that situation, and life goes on and you do live through it. But it's so much harder. It's so lovely out here where there's no cars, no traffic, and our pond is so isolated, and you can hear the birds. I'm so grateful to be home. I'm so grateful to live way out here. Even even in the winter when it's like nobody anywhere. Look at it. It's so beautiful. There's just nobody. Just wilderness. I think it's so awesome. I'm so grateful to live here too. I think it's important to be grateful. So important to be grateful. Because everything we have really comes from God. You may think that you've earned it, you worked hard and you got it. But you know what? You can lose things in the flick of an eye. Anything can happen. You think things are secure, but you can, even if you've paid off your mortgage, I don't know, there's ways that things can go wrong. You can have bad luck. Some people just have a lifetime of bad luck. And so they're poor, and they struggle, and, you know, people that have been well educated, companies go bankrupt and stop paying the pensions. There's just a multitude of ways that you can run into real big problems. And our blessings come from the Lord. And I know that if I acknowledge that, if I am grateful to Him for all that I have, my husband, my house, my property, the pond, the location, the distance away from town, the closeness of town. If I am grateful for all those things, I am blessed even more. I haven't had a life of bad luck, which there, for the grace of God, go I. It's not by anything I've done that I wasn't born crippled and had millions of bad things happen to me along the way. Some people have. Some people's lives really suck. Sorry. Anyway, I'm so grateful to be home. I'm so grateful to be home. Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye.